welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be doing something a little bit differently than what you normally see. Today, I will be making a roasted chicken with crispy, buttery oven potatoes and Brussels sprouts that I promise you will actually want to eat. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, to spare you all the details of me washing my chicken and chopping my little goodies here, I just kind of cut it out. So, I have my chicken that I went ahead and rinsed, and I put it in my cast iron Dutch oven pan, which is the best way to cook one of these guys. And into this, we are going to add 3 lemons that have been quartered, 2 onions that have also been quartered, 4 garlic cloves that I just cut in half. You could also leave them whole, and you can add, honestly, as much garlic as you'd like. I'm gonna wash my hands real fast. I also have my oven preheating to 375 degrees. Every oven is going to cook a little bit differently. I plan on having this chicken in there for 3.5 hours. I really want it to go slow. And then towards the end, I'll just take the top off so that the skin can crisp really well. Now on top of this chicken, I'm going to pour 1 stick of melted butter. And you really just want it all over the top of that chicken. I'm going to heavily salt the skin because you want that skin to be crispy and salty and delicious, honestly. I'll do a little bit of pepper on top. And this is all to preference too. If you're like, ew, I don't want that much salt, don't put that much salt. If you're like, oh, I want more pepper, put more pepper. And then on top of this, we're going to do fresh thyme and fresh rosemary. So we'll just do, oh gosh, about a handful. I'm going to place it just along the sides of the chicken, not necessarily on top. We really just want it for just a little bit of extra flavor. I'm not chopping it up, just leaving it whole. And same with the rosemary. Just placing it alongside the chicken. Perfect. Now I'll show you what it looks like before I put it in the oven really fast. I think it's quite pretty. While the chicken is in the oven cooking, now's a perfect time to prep the rest of our things. So we're going to move on to our oven potatoes. Now these are perfect if you love breakfast potatoes, like the crispy, crunchy, and you really don't want to like do it on the stovetop, just pop them in the oven. So I've started out with, oh gosh, this many potatoes, and we are serving 4 tonight, so I think this is a great amount. I'm going to start off just cutting these in thirds. And then however small you want to make them. I like to make mine just a little bit smaller. They do shrivel up once they're in the oven, but I like them to kind of be bite-sized, that way every bite is like crunchy, but then with a soft texture on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead, chop up the rest of these, pop them in the bowl, and then I'll show you what I kind of put on top of them. Alrighty, now I have all of my potatoes chopped and in this bowl. Now I'm gonna add some goodies to it. Now to my potatoes here, I'm going to add 1.5 sticks of melted butter. About 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil or olive oil. I just needed to get rid of the rest of this. So whichever oil you prefer. About 1.5 teaspoons of black pepper. And 1.5 teaspoons of salt. just going to toss them up. You really want to make sure that every single potato is kind of evenly coated with salt, salt, pepper, butter, all the good stuff. And now I'm just going to spread them evenly onto a large baking sheet. And you see all that good stuff in there? I'm going to scrape it out. Now just spread the potatoes. And there's no need to butter this pan because, you get it. Now I'm going to give it one final salt and pepper. And I'm going to set these aside, but since they're already ready, they only take an hour to bake. So when the chicken, I think, only has about an hour left, I'll go ahead and put these in the oven. Now in the same bowl that I just used for the potatoes, because I don't want to dirty another dish, we're going to do our final thing, which will be the Brussels sprouts. So we'll start out with almost a fourth a cup of honey that I went ahead and microwaved so that it combines a little bit better. And to that we will add a fourth a cup of soy sauce, fourth cup of teriyaki sauce, about 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, or however you say it. We'll say a heaping tablespoon of garlic, and let's say a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of black pepper. We will go ahead and give this a little bit of a stir. And I'll go ahead and show you what this looks like. And now in this bowl, I will add 2 bags of Brussels sprouts. I normally get the whole Brussels sprouts and I chop them myself, but this is just like a really convenient thing. You want to have them so that all of the liquid and sauce can kind of get in these little crevices here. We'll add 2 bags. And we'll give them a stir. We really want to make sure that every single Brussels sprout is coated, just because the sauce is going to seep into the Brussels sprouts and give them an awesome flavor. Awesome. Now that all of the Brussels sprouts are pretty much completely coated, I'm going to take a little bit of extra honey and drizzle it on top. And then these are also going to set out with the potatoes and just kind of marinate in that sauce for a little bit. Delish. So, I will see you all here in a little bit when it's time to finalize these little fun things. Hi friends! Okay, I have let my chicken cook for about 2 hours now on 350 degrees. And I'm going to crank the heat up to 400 because we want those potatoes to cook in an hour and we want them to be really crispy. So I turn the oven to 400 degrees and I'm going to go ahead and put my potatoes in the oven. And I just have them on the top rack. Now I'm also going to take my Brussels sprouts that I've been letting soak and kind of sit in this little marinade for a while. Give them a stir. I'm going to pop them in a dish, a baking dish. And I'll make sure to get all of those juices out. And these will need about 30 to 45 minutes, so they'll just be ready on the stove. I'm trying to serve everything at 5 o'clock, so at 4:20 I'll put these in to cook. And with the Brussels sprouts, I'll probably cook them for about 30 minutes covered and then 10 minutes uncovered so that the tops can get a little bit crispy. And now let me show you what the chicken looks like right now. I'm going to continue to cook it for another 30 minutes at 400 degrees covered, and then I'll cook it for about 30 minutes uncovered in the oven. So this baby is going back in the oven for 30 minutes with the top on. After that, I will take the top off because you know, you want that top to get a little crispy. And let me give you a close-up on the potatoes. We are crisping. And there we have it. Everything is out of the oven. I'm going to do a little bit of like close-ups on everything. It smells delicious, it looks delicious, and I'm happy that this was like the first meal I got to cook for you guys. All of the recipes will be in the description box below. And yeah, enjoy.